Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and season's greetings, or should I say season's beatings. We're here in Canary Wharf for the final undercard press conference for Saturday night's huge night of boxing action. So 2018's been an incredible year for our sport, and 2019 looks to be even brighter. But before we turn the page and close the 2018 chapter of the history of the sweet science, we've got a great fight card Saturday night at the O2 Arena here in London. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing and Haymaker Promotions. It'll be broadcast live in the UK on Sky Sports Box Office, and if you can't make it out, I urge you to definitely tune in. It's a stacked card. You've got something for everybody on here. Of course, at the top of the bill, it's the brawl to settle it all. Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora, the rematch of their great fight that took place in Manchester. But the undercard is amazing. So let's start talking about that just a little bit. The chief support, Joshua Buatsi, making his second defense of his WBA International Light Heavyweight title, and he's got a tough test against the Aussie Reynold Quinlan. Of course, you've also got the WBC Flyweight Champion of the World, the tough Nicaraguan El Latigo, Christopher Rosales, and he's going against Charlie Edwards. He's making his second attempt at a world title. Should be a great fight. Of course, one of the most beautiful prizes in all of boxing is the Lord Lonsdale Challenge Belt. We've got 12 rounds for the British featherweight title. Iron Ryan Walsh against Reese, David Price and Tom Little. You've got the undefeated Fabio Wardley, the undefeated middleweight Linus Adelphia. As you see, there's something for everyone on this card. So here to tell you more about it, I'm going to turn it over to the president of Matchroom Boxing, Mr. Eddie Hearn.
Thank you very much, David. Pleasure to have you here. And also one fight that's not here because both fighters are travelling is Carlos Takam will return to the O2 on Saturday night after his stunning fight with Derek Chisora. He will fight 17-1 Senad Gashi from Germany, and Carlos and his opponent en route to London right now. It's a great card and a great main event, and I think the O2 is such a wonderful arena. We was at Madison Square Garden on Saturday night, which blew everybody's mind, but this place is our Madison Square Garden. I think it's become the home of big events for British boxing. We always seem to have so much drama in this arena, and of course you're going to see that on Saturday night. Last time we saw one of the best heavyweight fights I've ever seen live between Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora, and I can't see anything but another version of that on Saturday night. I think it's going to be a great fight and a great undercard as well. So many big fights on the card, so many opportunities for some of our young British talent to become world champions. One of the biggest stars, I believe, in boxing emerging right now is Joshua Buatsi in the toughest test of his career so far. We have two great heavyweight fights on the card with Takam and also David Price against Tom Little, and a brilliant British title fight as well against Reese against Ryan Walsh. Before we talk to these guys and speak to Fabio and Linus as well, I'm going to pass over to Adam Smith from Sky Sports, our host broadcaster, who of course will be showing this event live on Sky Sports box office on Saturday night.
Thanks, Eddie. What a way to finish the year, and it's been a fantastic 2018. As Eddie said, we were in New York last week. Katie Taylor, absolutely phenomenal, and the return of Canelo. This week, top of the bill, Whyte Chisora 2, phenomenal. We can't wait for that. But what a card as well. Some really good fight talent on both tables here. You've got a bit for everyone. Loving the British featherweight title fight between Ryan Walsh and Reese Bellotti. You know, two great guys, old-fashioned throwback stuff. You've got a great heavyweight battle with Tom Little and David Price returning. Again, it's terrific. That will really whet the appetite. You know, the guy to my left, Reynold Quinlan from Australia, he's going to test Joshua Buatsi, and we want to see that. Joshua Buatsi has done absolutely everything right so far. He looks class, doesn't he, in the ring? So much poise and brilliant outside it as well. Could he be the next real big superstar? Plus the world title fight. Can Charlie do it second time around? He's got his, well, he's got a tough test, hasn't he, against Christopher Rosales after that Paddy Barnes victory. But I know Charlie's worked long and hard for this. Fantastic undercard, really good. It's packed all night. It's going to be a terrific atmosphere at the O2. Don't forget, we've got a lot of build-up programs still to come. JD Ringside today and tomorrow. Everything on Sky Sports News. And yeah, it's a great way to finish the year, isn't it?
Thanks, Adam. Kicking off the action at the O2 on Facebook Live, we have Linus, Adelphia and Fabio Wardley as well. Linus, firstly over to you. Come on board, part of the Haymaker setup. A lot of people in here won't know too much about you, so tell us about yourself and what we can expect on Saturday night at the O2.
Yeah, I'm just really thank you for the opportunity to be here, first of all. And yeah, not really too much. Didn't go to the Olympics, didn't do too much of the amateurs, just grafted my way up the hard way. And I'm just happy to be here, to be honest.
Looking forward to soaking it up backstage at the O2. It's a different kind of experience fighting on these shows.
Yeah, 100%. You know, compared to the small hall shows, this is what I've been grafting for a while. So I'm just really, really happy to be here.
Fabio, part of the emerging scene coming through. I believe you've been in camp with Dillian as well for this fight. Looking forward to getting out there on Saturday night.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to get out there. Thank you to Dillian, obviously, for bringing me on board and bringing me part of this team, and then obviously putting me on the card with him as well. This is what I've been working towards, and obviously me and Dillian have been close, so we've worked together to put something like this together, and I'm just ready to go out there and show off on a big stage and let people know what I'm about.
What's your ambitions for 2019? It's a brilliant domestic scene right now. Couldn't be a better time to be mixing it in that company.
Yeah, definitely. The heavyweight scene at the moment is obviously, there's a lot going on from domestically and obviously at world level as well. So my main ambitions right now was obviously, after a period of inactivity, is just to get some fights under my belt, kind of get back into the swing of things, and then by mid next year start aiming for some belts and for some titles, and by the end of the year probably start calling some names out and just making some waves, because I'm not here to wait around. I want to get involved, and there's some big fights out there to be made. And obviously backing your teammate, you've seen him in camp this fight, you believe he's going to be successful against Chisora on Saturday? 100%. Like I said, I've been around Dillian for some time now, and every camp I've spent with him and every bit of time I've been around him, he's just been more and more focused. He's been more and more on top of his game. He's so aware of himself and where he needs to improve and how he's progressing. It's been great to see, and it's been a pleasure just to be alongside him and see that progression. So yeah, definitely, it's going to be a great fight, but he's definitely going to come out on top.
Staying with the heavyweights, Tom Little. We was joking before the press conference, you are unquestionably one of the greatest talkers in the sport of boxing. You haven't always delivered, but we know you have bundles of ability as well. Big night for you on Saturday night, live on Sky Sports Box Office against David Price.
Yeah, listen, massive opportunity, and one that I'm very grateful for. I'm just going to enjoy it, soak it up. Everything for me in this sport's a bonus now. So I'm just going to go out there, let my hands go, do what. For me, I'm an overachiever of such. I've got ability, I can fight, and I've got the art the size of this building. So I'm not really fazed about anything. Good friends with David. He looks in brilliant shape. Looks like he's had a brilliant camp. So I'm sure that we're going to deliver a banger, and I wouldn't be surprised if we steal the show.
Obviously, you've sparred David before. He's a big puncher. You've been in the deep end at very short notice before against Dubois, more recently as well. You know, at the high level against Hrgovic. Good camp this time around. You feel ready for this opportunity. At the workout yesterday, you were going for it. You wanted to showcase that you've been working hard for this fight, but kind of feels like in this division you're only ever one win away from a major fight.
Oh, of course. And listen, Barry Smith sat over there. He's worked hard. He's pushed me to hell and back. I've been doing some good rounds with this young man here, who I can tell you, he's going to do something in this sport. Very, very talented young man. And I know I'm only one win away, but I'm not. I'm a pressureless fighter. To me, sitting on this table is a massive thing for me. But David should be on the top tier, if you know what I mean. Like, for me, this is a massive step up, and I might be considered to David as a step down, but me and him's done some brilliant rounds, and they were very painful, I ain't gonna lie. So listen, I'm an honest man. The man could punch through that wall, but listen, if I was worried about power, heavyweight boxing ain't the one for me. I'm here to do a job, and I will give me heart and soul to make sure that job gets done. If not, then I just weren't good enough on the night, but I know I'm going to be.
Pricey, welcome back, mate. You've been on some huge shows recently, another one here. This time coming into the fight as a big favourite rather than the underdog against a Kuzmin or against a Povetkin. You had a good camp and ready to perform on Saturday night.
I've had a fantastic camp and I'm grateful to be here again. I'm pleased that I'm fighting someone like Tom Little because I've lost 3 of my last 4 fights and the options could have been a lot easier to get back in, feel your way back in, try and get a knockout. But Tom Little's a serious fighter and he's a test, let me tell you. And the sparring that we've done that much. There's going to be no feeling out process on Saturday. It's just going to be straight centre of the ring. And we do gel as styles, so you can look forward to an excellent fight. And like I said, boxing for me is a gentleman's sport. You can have all your table throwing things like that. I'm a gentleman. I am what I am. And me and Tom get on really well and made the best man win on Saturday night.
I thought you boxed brilliantly against Kuzmin. I thought you were winning the fight. Obviously, you had an injury in that fight. You weren't the best prepared. You didn't have the deepest tank. But do you take a lot of positives from the Kuzmin fight and the way you performed there?
Do you know what, Eddie? I haven't really evaluated that fight to try and take positive, negatives from it because it was what it was. There was a little bit more to it than met the eye, which can be revealed at a later date. But the injury didn't help. The preparation didn't help. And it was I've kind of written that fight off in my head and just completely moved on to the next one and focusing on what's in front of me. I'm desperate to win again more than anything. Getting the win is, you're in it for the glory in boxing, ultimately. You know, you can talk about money and paydays, but we fight to get that winning feeling. I've lost 3 of my last 4 fights, and it's frustrating going home to my kids, not telling them, not saying I've won, and that's the desperation I've got this weekend to get that win and then go from there.
Is it just about Saturday night? I mean, I know this division like the back of my hand. There are so many opportunities out there for you in 2019 if you win on Saturday. Got a big Liverpool show planned to coming up. But is it just purely about getting the job done on Saturday night, or are you thinking I'm one win away from some major fights in 2019?
Oh no, 100% focusing on Saturday night, and it would be disrespectful to my opponent to not have that mentality. And then if I can get the win, which I'm expecting to, things should take care. Well, you should take care of the rest of it for me, hopefully, Eddie, because every heavyweight needs a dance partner, and there's that many big names floating about now. There's going to be opportunities for the winner on Saturday night. So that's how much that's the carrot dangling for both of us.
Well, I honestly can't wait for this fight. Two great gentlemen and 2 big punching heavyweights. I wish it was over 12 rounds. I don't think we're going to need it, but I'm really looking forward to that fight. Good luck to both of you there. Another fight that I really think could steal the show on Saturday is Reese Bellotti against Ryan Walsh. Reese is sort of one of my little favourite fighters. He is probably one of the most entertaining, definitely one of the biggest pound-for-pound punchers in Britain right now. And this year, we had a situation where he lost to Ryan Doyle for the Commonwealth title. It was a bit of a shock to everybody. Didn't expect it. I think sometimes he believed in his own power a bit too much in that fight. And now he gets a golden opportunity to win the British title, which always every young fighter has a dream to do. Ryan Walsh is a seasoned fighter, been a British champion for a long time. He's much, much better than British level. He's a European level fighter, someone I think could compete on the world stage as well. Reese, this is a big, big moment for you on Saturday night. Obviously, coming off the Doyle defeat, you got the win at the Copper Box in October. But this is a big fight and a big opportunity.
Yeah, it's a huge fight. It's a huge opportunity, like you say. Coming off the loss from Doyle, again, I got to a stage in my career where I thought I was just going to blast everyone out. I just thought no one could just stand with what I have. Big lesson that night, and hopefully I'll look to turn that around on Saturday. And obviously Ryan's a great champion. It's not going to be an easy fight by any means, and but our styles are very similar. It's going to gel well, and hopefully entertain the fans. Definitely the toughest test of your career so far. Did you have to adapt from that style like you did against Cunningham, and your power managed to get you through that fight? You did it again against Doyle. You have to be much cuter against Ryan Walsh and pick your spots much better. Yeah, definitely. I've got to have a better game plan, and we've got A, B, and C game plan just in case things don't work on the night. Ryan's a good fighter. I've watched him for years, to be fair. I've gone to see his fights, and he can adapt as well to different styles. So I've got to bring something different to the table.
Ryan, welcome, mate. You've been hanging around waiting. You were supposed to fight Isaac Lowe, and he took a fight in America. And obviously, I've never known you and your team to turn a fight down. And as soon as we offered Reese Pilate, you said yes, thank you very much, and a big opportunity for you on Saturday night in what will be a tough fight.
100%, I couldn't agree more. Can I just say Merry Christmas to everyone? Merry Christmas to all the lads. And in all the fights, may the best fighter win, even in my fight, because this is a sport, and it is like what David said, a gentleman's sport. They're my type of fighters. We do need the big mouths, I agree with that. They're entertaining, and we all like to see them get punched in the mouth. Me and Reese aren't them type of guys. You're going to get to see us punch each other in the mouth, that's a fact. But at the end of it, the best man wins. We all go home happy and healthy to our families. Maybe unhappy for one of us, obviously, but we'll still have a Merry Christmas. I think I have been on this scene for a long time. My first British title fight was 5 years ago. It was on a matchroom bill. It seems the sport, the system, the way things work, that they want to keep me at this level. That's fine, because I made a point to myself that if this is it, I'm going to be a British champion. I'm going to be the best British champion I can be. And I think I've proved it. 3 years now I've been the British champion. I'm the British champion because a future world champion beat me. He vacated. And then when I got back into the position, which took a while, we have a now current world champion vacating the title. You know, you was promoting him. You'll know better than me why that fight didn't happen. I know I was available. But I'm grateful in some ways that everything's played out this way, because this is now my 7th British title fight. There's not many people who have had 7 British title fights, so I stand alone in that. So as far as this level goes, and I agree with you, of course, I think I'm at minimum. I sit here and I feel I'm the uncrowned European champion. Anyone who tells me different, well, look back, watch the fight, and then look at the things that happened afterwards. It's quite clear. But I wouldn't change anything. Through the disgusting actions of that Danish fighter, I got to do something that means something to me and my family, and mainly my dad. Before I knew anything about boxing, I knew professional boxing. I didn't know anything about amateur boxing. My dad used to sit on his knee, show us all the greats, Leonard, all the other boys. But there's something special about the British title. I'm gutted I haven't got it here. My British title sits on my brother's wall with great pride. That was always, ideally, I'd love to be able to earn and get enough, and there was only one away with Liam to give one to my dad. But my dad's not here, and it's a title that I know he would have been massively proud that we own. We own it. No matter what, we own it. And that takes pressure off in these situations. All the pressure's on Reese. He hasn't got a British title. He wants to own it. I know exactly where he's been, and I respect that. And that's why I expect this to be a very, very tough fight. Because you ask anyone who's fought in a British title fight, when I fought Selby, I produced a much better performance than I produced in 18 fights prior. I expect the best Reese Pilate. We're going to see different from Reese than what we've seen in any. He was the Commonwealth champion, defending his Commonwealth title. Maybe he took his eye off the ball with Ryan. This is a bigger title, a better title, a bigger fight, a bigger stage. This is our shop window. It's still my shop window. If I'm going to be, like I say, if I'm going to be kept at this British level, well, I'm going to be the best British champion I can be, and I'm really, really excited for this fight. I think you was right what you said. There's a few different styles that could gel better and end up being fighting that, but this is one that you don't have to look at him. He's honest. He's an honest young fighter. You're going to tell me I'm an honest old fighter? I don't believe that. Age is just a number of people, so I think B-Hop proved that as well. So
I think one of the reasons that you didn't get the fight that you were talking about back then was just because they didn't fancy it. And I think at the level you're operating at, which is British level, you're a very, very difficult fight. And I think what's happened to boxing is people have just decided we've got to take these fights, we've got to be in these fights. And I think, you look at someone like Reese Pilate, where he's jumped straight into this fight. Normally, you might give him a few more before he fights someone like Ryan Walsh, but the game has changed. But do you feel like, you talk about a shop window, if you can produce that great performance where people turn around and say, wow, this guy's tasty. Is that the plan, or is it just about winning, or do you have to look good on Saturday night?
The W is always massive, but we all know as fighters that we're our own product. And if you don't know that, this is to young fighters, this is to anyone listening, you're a product, sell yourself. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be the A, B and talk nonsense, but you know what, it's got impaired. I'm not about money. for me, I want to be able to watch this fight back with my brothers and family and go, yeah, I'm proud of that bit of work. And I did give myself a chance to shine in that shot window, because it is a shot window for all of us. Everyone's saying, even the top of the bill, they know this is a shot window. The heavyweight division is the most exciting division on the planet right now, because the options there for who's to fight and what, and them two are in the same boat, the top of the bill, and there's more pressure on them than anyone, I think. But I think we get to get a bit of that shine. All of us on the undercard have got a chance to say, we've got to watch Jarell Miller, but did you see that? That's what we've got a chance to be. Did you see that fight? Regardless of what happens in that bill, did you see? And that's what we're all planning to do. Be in a position where people go, did you see that? I want to see him again in 2019. So yeah, the shot window is well open for us all.
Good to talk to you, Ryan. It's a great fight, Belotti against Walsh for the British featherweight title. Another great fight, one that we're all willing this young man over the line. I know that 18,000 in the O2 Arena on Saturday night will be doing the same. Charlie Edwards challenging for the WBC flyweight title against Christopher Rosales. Charlie, I've followed your social media for this fight. You've put a lot of pressure on yourself. We know what boxing means to you and your family, and this is it. You know, this is maybe not the last opportunity, but probably the best opportunity you will get to become world champion on Saturday night.
100%. I just want to say thank you for Rosales for giving me the shot. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Eddie, for believing in me and giving me it again. I wouldn't say I haven't put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, and I'm talking it into existence. I believe in myself, and I believe that I'm going to take that belt on December the 22nd. It's going to be a hard, tough fight, but my trainer and me, we've developed the game plan, A, B, and C, just like Reese said. We ain't left no stone unturned, and we're ready. We're really well and truly ready. My mentality's there. I'm physically stronger. I'm emotionally better, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday night and putting on a show for everyone.
Rosales has kind of been that fighter where he just got slung into the deep end before he had the opportunity to learn. You saw him lose to Kalya, saw him lose to Andrew Selby, and as he travelled the world fighting these quality fighters, got better and better and better. A massive win in Japan, and then you saw him destroy Paddy Barnes in Belfast recently. His confidence right now is on another level. Is it a case of, you know, using your boxing skills? He tends to walk his opponents down. That's what he did to Paddy Barnes. There are going to be times where I guess you're going to have to stand and fight in this fight as well. 100%,
and we've prepared for that. 2 years ago, I was chucked in the deep end, and it made me realise what I had to do to become a world-level fighter. I've gone away, I've had the right sparring, I've been around the world in international sparring partners, and I well and truly believe that this is my time, and I'm ready to take that step and become world champion.
I remember when you won the WBC international title years ago. You wore that belt everywhere you went. It was everywhere. To win that one, the real one, which, you know, we work with all the governing bodies, but I know to a fighter, that is a very, very special belt. What would that mean to you to become WBC world champion on Saturday night?
It'll be a dream come true. From a young age, I've always wanted to be a world champion. I've always looked at that belt as the best belt out there. It's the best looking belt by far for me. And it'll be a dream come true, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. And to get my hands on that belt Saturday night and take it home to my mum, who's been very ill, for Christmas will mean a lot to me, and that's what's going to happen on Saturday night.
Well, like I said, everyone in this room, everyone in the O2 and around the country will be willing you over the line on Saturday night. Christopher Rosales, welcome, welcome. Another fight for you away from home, and another defence of the belt that you are very proud of.
Bueno, muy agradecido de estar aquí. Estamos con las mejores, ¿verdad?, ansias de este combate. Ya estamos ansiosos de esperar el sábado. Como decía Charlie, él bien ansioso de ganar el título, igual yo. Así estuve ansioso de ganarlo. Fue un sueño hecho realidad para mí. Y ahora un sueño que no quiero despertar. Es un sueño del que yo quiero mantener. Este título me costó bastante sudor, bastante sacrificio, y pues no voy a venir a dejarlo así por así aquí al territorio inglés. Este título va de vuelta para Nicaragua. Es un sacrificio que he hecho con mi equipo de entrenamiento, y pues estoy muy agradecido con mi equipo, ¿verdad?, con Gustavo, Wilmer, Roger. Es algo de que yo no voy a dejarlo ir, es algo que voy a mantener, y pues sabemos de que vienen mejores peleas. Es una gran oportunidad que me están dando aquí, ¿verdad? Para catapultarme un poco más en mi carrera y pues vamos a aprovecharla.
Well, I saw smoke coming off the translator's pen there. And 4 pages she wrote there. Unbelievable. Very fast writing. So, well done. Give that a go for us. Can I just say, normally we have a guy called Joe Forbes who just makes it up, basically. So you can do the real thing for us this time.
Well, I'm very thankful to be here, and we're extremely excited about the fight on Saturday. And as Charlie said, it is his dream, and he's hoping for his dream to come true. Well, it was my dream. It came true, and it's a dream I don't want to wake up from. There was a lot of sweat, a lot of sacrifice to win this belt, and I'm not ready to leave it here in England. It's coming back to Nicaragua with me. And I'm very thankful to my team, to Roger, to Wilbur, to Gustavo. And once again, I said I'm here to keep my belt, and I won't leave it here. And I think that this fight is really the huge opportunity to propel me in the world stage.
Thank you very much. Well done. Well done. And the final question is, Christopher has become a big star in Nicaragua. We've seen the pictures of him returning home with his belt. He fights for his country here, and does he feel that he will be too good and too strong for Charlie Edwards on Saturday?
Bueno, pues sí, para mí es una gran responsabilidad llevar este cinturón a mi país nuevamente, ya que pongo en alto a mi país, Nicaragua, y pues creo que sí, soy lo suficiente fuerte y lo bastante inteligente para poder ganarle a Charlie. He peleado con boxeadores de diferentes estilos, con boxeadores bastante fuertes como era Daigo Iga, catalogado como un monstruo en la categoría 112, invicto con 15 knockouts, y también con Paddy Barnes, otro boxeador medallista olímpico. Peleé con Khalid Jafai, con Andrew Selby, y pues he peleado con boxeadores de todo estilo, y pues creo de que estoy apto y me siento capacitado para salir con la victoria y con el cinturón para Nicaragua el día sábado.
Well, yes, it is a huge responsibility to go back to my country with the belt, because I'm really making my country proud. But I think that I'm strong and intelligent enough to win against Charlie on Saturday. And I have been fighting against many boxers who have many different styles, like Ohiga, who hadn't had any defeats, 15 knockouts, and other Olympic champions, Andrew Selby, and many other styles. And so I really think that I'm ready to bring the belt back to Nicaragua on Saturday.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The new chocolatito.
No, podríamos decir que no. Siempre se mantiene el chocolate, pero por mis tíos que fueron los que iniciaron esto.
Well, no, chocolatito is chocolatito, but this is thanks to my uncles.
Good. Good luck to you on Saturday night at the WBC flyweight world title fight between Charlie Edwards and the champion Christopher Rosales. We're moving to the light heavyweight division, which I think domestically and internationally is just sensational right now. I think this young man to my right, Joshua Boazzi, is leading the charge. And although he's had few fights, I think he's been so impressive. And we step him up at a good, solid pace on Saturday night for what is unquestionably the toughest fight of his career so far in the defence of his WBA International Light Heavyweight Championship. We've seen great performances from Callum Johnson, first beating Frank Buglioni and going and dropping Artur Beterbiev before eventually losing for the IBF world title. Frank Buglioni has left the sport now after his great career that he's had. Anthony Yard going well. And then you look internationally, Bivol, Grodzik, Beterbiev, and obviously our thoughts particularly with Adonis Stevenson as well, following his defeat for his WBC light heavyweight championship. Elder Alvarez and rematching Kovalev. It's just a wonderful time internationally, and these guys are top level. This young man we've seen on these shores before against Chris Eubank Jr. You were a younger guy there, I think probably a little bit too inexperienced. I remember we spoke a lot on social media talking about your opportunities You've been there and you've seen it now, and you're an experienced fighter. Up at light heavyweight, which looking at the workout yesterday looks to really suit you. You look like you're punching very hard, and another big opportunity to fight in the UK on Saturday night.
I'm grateful to come back here. Thanks to Matrim and Eddie for the opportunity. Thank you to Whyte for defending his title against me. It's a pleasure to come back, especially jumping up to light heavyweight. I feel a bit more stronger, comfortable, and just looking forward to this Saturday.
You're never in a bad fight, and nor is Joshua Buatsi. I saw your last fight, and I know, although you lost that fight against Hooper, it was an incredible fight, back and forwards, and you had him in plenty of trouble as well. Do you have to be more careful with Buatsi, or are you going to go in with that same style that you normally bring to the ring on Saturday?
I think with the Hooper fight, I wasn't mentally focused. There was things going on in my camp, but I'm learning as well. Coming into this fight here, I'm just keeping being the same, not changing nothing. Just, a bit more fitter, and everyone's going to see a different Quinlan.
Again, finally a great division, and back home as well, boxing is booming in Australia. It'd be a major moment for you and Australian boxing if you could win on Saturday night.
Yeah, it will be. It will be, and all blessings to God that I get the win and take the belt back home.
Thank you, Reynolds. Josh, this is, I think, the fight we want for you, where someone's going to definitely come to win, someone's going to be firing back, and a good opportunity for you, again, at the O2 Arena on Saturday night.
For sure. Firstly, good afternoon to everyone. Like Ryan Walsh said, season wishes, Merry Christmas to everyone. Saturday, like you said, Eddie's a step up, supposedly meant to be a test. Quillian's going to come to fight, come to win. That's great for me. 2 hands, 2 legs. We get in the ring and we see what happens. There's no predictions, no anything. For me, it's a win at all costs. So I'm looking forward to it.
How much do you need that ring time? You know, last 2 fights, we've had 2 opponents who we've seen go deep into the rounds with other talents that we talk about, and you got rid of them both in the first round. Do you feel like you need to get those rounds before you move into a major title fight?
So for this fight, it's scheduled for 10. I've prepared for 10. If it goes 10, that's great. But to be fair with you, if I see an opportunity, more than open and more than happy to exploit it. So I haven't done the rounds like you said, but I do them in training day in, day out. And like I said, I've prepared for 10 hard rounds. If it goes 10, that's great. If not, then that's still good for me.
We know you're a very humble individual and you don't like to call out fighters, but where do you feel your career's at right now? We know that in this world we live in, the fans are impatient. They want it all now. They want to see you in with, you know, Callum Johnson, with Burton, with Yard, and with Beterbiev and Bivol and those guys. We know that the world level is still some fights away, but how ready are you feeling to take on the likes of the names that I mentioned there?
I feel my team has made it very clear that we're more than open and more than prepared for these fights. My team wouldn't say that if I weren't ready, so they've said that, so I'm more than open. Quinton stepped up to 22nd December, and that's who I have to deal with. So after that, we look forward to it. If these guys want to make these fights happen, my team is given the green light, so I'm more than open for it.
Thank you, Joshua. We look forward to a great fight. It's going to be fireworks between Quinlan and Buatsi on Saturday night for the WBA International Light Heavyweight Championship. Thank you so much for sitting by and listening. Great card, so many characters, so many great fighters, great individuals, so many opportunities on Saturday night to make history for these guys at British level, world level, and a lot of people fighting for many, many things on Saturday night. We're going to clear this table, and then we're going to have a head-to-heads with all the guys here and one-on-ones with you guys, and then we'll begin the main press conference in about half an hour's time. Thank you.
Chuck.
Interesting head to head.
Well, Whyte versus Chisora, not the only big heavyweight clash here on Saturday night, because David Price is in action once again up against Tom Not So Little on Saturday night. David, first of all, how are you feeling? Obviously, the last fight ended with an arm injury, and you're fully over that now and ready to go?
Fully over that. Started using that about 6 weeks ago, so that's fine. Trained well, had a good camp. You know, Tom Little poses a good threat, so we've took him seriously and we're ready to get in there and ready to rock, really. But it's of the utmost importance that I win tomorrow, so it's a massive fight for me.
Obviously, Tom, you know very, very well. The two of you have sparred a heck of a lot, so you know each other inside out.
We do, yeah, but that doesn't mean to say we're going to cancel each other out type of thing. I think our styles gel well. You know, we're gonna go at it, and people don't want to miss this fight. It's going to be a great, it's going to be a cracking little fight.
Because you'd love to get back to winning ways, wouldn't you? The last 3 out of your last 4 have ended in defeat, and that's not a nice feeling to get.
No, it's not. It's frustrating, you know, and by my very nature, I am a winner. You know, I've had a great career. You know, I've been an Olympian. I've had many titles as an amateur. I've been British and Commonwealth champion as a professional, and then things just seem to plateau out type of thing. And I've lost 6 times in my career now, but the 3 out of the last 4 is the most frustrating thing. I forgot what it feels like to win and be happy about it and enjoy the spoils of war, the victory. So I'm desperate to feel that on Saturday night.
Because there are some big opportunities that could be coming up for you in this division if you get past Tom on Saturday night.
There is, like I said before to Eddie Hearn, there's that many big names out there now. They're always looking for the dance partner, and you know, I can accept that I'd be going in as the opponent in some of these situations. What I do want to do, for as long as possible, I want to be taking fights that, at least on paper, are more in my favour than the other fighter, and that hasn't been the case the last 2 fights. You know, I think this is the case in this fight, favour myself over Tom. And you know, you can go into fight saying, "Oh, I believe I'm going to win," but the reality is, if you're fighting undefeated up-and-coming prospects who you've been brought in for them to win against, it's a numbers game, it's a business boxing. I want to try and play that game myself again for maybe 2 or 3 fights, build a bit of momentum, and then when a big fight does present itself, I'll be in the best possible frame of mind and give myself the best opportunity to win.
David, we wish you the very best of luck. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. David Price taking on Tom Not So Little. These guys aren't little at all. The big heavyweights in action here on Saturday night. Well, what a terrific start it's been to this young man's professional career so far. Joshua Buatsi 8-0 and going very nicely in the professional ranks.
So far, so good. Saturday night, hopefully we make it 9-0. That's the aim, Fraser, so that's all I'm thinking about right now.
You're up against Ronald Quinlan this time around, who we know, of course, has been in with Chris Eubank Jr. before. Made a pretty good account of himself on that scale. We want to see you in tough fights now, don't we?
The fans do, the press do, the media does. Like you said, he went 10 with Chris Eubank Jr., I think, a few years ago. That's Eubank Jr., that's not Joshua Buatsi, so no comparisons to be made there. I'm going in there, this is my fight, and it will plan out the way I have it planned out.
And do you feel this is the right sort of level to be stepping up at this time in your career so far?
My team has kind of made a good decision, and this is who they think is relevant right now, so I can't complain. I think it's the right time.
And obviously you won't be overlooking him, but there are some opportunities that could be presenting themselves in 2019. There's some big names out there, particularly at a domestic level. Are you ready to step up to those levels now as well?
There's a lot of names that have been chucked in the hat, and my team has made it clear we're more than open to take any of these fights. But all my aim and my focus right now is this Saturday, so I'll get that out of the way, and 2019 at least one of those fights can happen.
It's been a big year for you so far, hasn't it? And your profile seems to be creeping up and up and up. A lot of people recognizing you. How are you dealing with life in the limelight these days?
It's all right, you know, there's always a bigger scale to it, and I don't feel I'm there yet. So I've just got to keep working hard, keep getting these wins. Being nice to people outside the ring, that's an important thing. When you get in the ring, you can be as mean and as nasty as you want, because that's what people want to see. But outside the ring, be cool, be calm, and the profile will rise.
And of course, being managed by Anthony Joshua as well, having him looking over your shoulder, that must be a nice feeling as well.
Always a bonus, a man that's been there and done that and continuously supports me, so I'm forever grateful.
Joshua, we wish you the best of luck on Saturday night. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Joshua Whyte, chief support here on Saturday night. It's a great card at the O2.
So an interesting undercard press conference there, some real characters, some excellent fights, stories of boxers coming back and prospects coming forward. It's what we like, isn't it? A deep, packed, stacked support to the main event.
It's a great Christmas present to have a card like this, Adam, at this time of year where, you know, the undercard supports brilliantly what is going to be, I think, another belligerent, bellicose battle, if I can use all the B's, between Whyte and Chisora. But, you know, Little against Price, Bellotti against Walsh, all these fights, Boats even against Quinlan, all these fights are going to deliver. They're all going to be action-packed.
Gareth, let's talk a little bit about Charlie Edwards' world title fight, because he's had one before. He had a challenge a little bit too early against Casimero, but now he goes in with a man that we saw take out Paddy Barnes impressively in Christopher Rosales.
Yeah, Christopher Rosales, the Nicaraguan for me, is a guy who is not technically brilliant, but he's very, very hard and very fit. He delivers high action early in the fight. And I think the key for Charlie Edwards, who physically has got more tensile strength since that defeat 6 fights ago. I mean, he looks 14 now. He looked 11 when he had that fight. I mean, he's incredibly youthful. But I think the key is, if he can weather that early storm against the Nicaraguan, I think he can come back and win a points victory against this guy. It's a massive, massive ask for him as well, though.
You still look really young, Spencer, and obviously you're looking forward to seeing Charlie Edwards, see if he can pull it off. Do you think this has come at the right time now that he has matured, he's changed trainers a few times, he seems more settled?
He does, he seems at peace with himself, he seems really confident, really focused. We looked at him yesterday in the open workout. He looked great. He looked sharp. He looked strong. Just a couple of days ago, we listened to him in the press conferences talking sense. And against Rosales, who's well-travelled as well. He's learnt his trade on the road, and he's come here, and he's not going to give up that title easily. But I just think the timing's right for young Charlie Edwards. I think, you know, he's had a go at the world title. It come too soon for him. He would have learnt a lot from that. He would have taken a lot from that. Second time around, I believe he could do it. But Adam, as you rightly said, this is a real barnstormer. I think you look down the card here, Belotti's going to be in a great fight against Walsh. Both guys really up for it.
I really like that. That's two old-fashioned guys, isn't it? You know, the way they spoke up there, British title, you know, Ryan Walsh has held it for a number of years now, and it means a huge amount to him. It's great to see.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, Reese Belotti is coming back off a defeat a couple of fights ago. He got a good win last time out, and he's relishing this chance to box for the British title. The British title means so much to some of these fighters. Now, Belotti spoke to him earlier on in the press conference. He says, listen, he's not going down without a fight. Now, we know he's tough. We know Walsh is tough. Stylistically, these two make for a great contest. Now, normally you can pick out on a card which fight is going to stand out. We've got 3 or 4 here, Gareth. Chisora White is going to be unbelievable. Belotti is going to be good against Walsh. And also Charlie Edwards against Rosales. 3 fights there we've picked out that are going to be real barnstormers. And you can't really pick a winner.
Let's move to the chief support, Joshua Buatsi, a potential superstar, many people believe. Gareth, are you in that camp? Do you like what you've seen through the 8 professional wins, the poise, the class already?
Yeah, he showed it really at the Olympics that he's got the eye of the tiger when that bell rings. I love the fact that he's a very religious man. You know, after the fight on Sunday, he'll be going to church. Quinlan's a religious man as well. I was saying to them yesterday they might both end up in church together on Sunday. I don't think it's an easy fight for Buatsi, but for me it's a keeping warm fight for him. I think he outdoes Quinlan in every department. He's such a powerful man at 175 pounds, Buatsi. What I love is how he flicks the switch at him when he goes in there. He's a beautiful human being, but he's a very, very ugly, mean, aggressive fighter who I think will go all the way to world level.
Do you know someone who switches just like that? And we saw her last week at Madison Square Garden is Katie Taylor. Just reflect on that wonderful performance. I thought it was the best of her professional career so far.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Katie Taylor, along with people like Dillian Whyte, Vasyl Lomachenko, Alexander Usyk, I think they are the standout boxers in the whole of the world of boxing in 2018. Katie Taylor is a terrific technician, but she delivers with excitement as well. The issue for her, after she's unified this division, which no doubt she will, is for me, will we see her in real dangerous challenges? I'd like to see her, if it's possible, step up and fight much bigger women, maybe Claressa Shields. People will be going, oh no, she's too big. But let's see Katie Taylor shift the paradigm and create the best women's fights we've ever seen. But I agree with you, she was brilliant against Wallstrom.
And it's that switch, isn't it? I mean, you couldn't meet a nicer, more humble and quiet woman outside the ring.
You would not believe she was a boxer if you spoke to her outside the ring. She is such a placid, beautifully soft-spoken young lady. It is unreal. When she gets in there, Adam, boom, the switch goes, and the style is incredible. She fights with her heart on her sleeve. She throws punches in bunches, brings real excitement to the women's boxing. She really has highlighted women's boxing. And I'm with Gareth. I think that for her to have any sort of test, she's going to need to step up a couple of weight divisions. And Claressa Shields is the big name over in the States. It's a great fight. Yes, Katie will be giving away a lot of weight, but I think that's what she's going to have to do to get that real challenge, because she's dominant at her weight and she's exploded onto the scene.
I think it would be a genuine super fight, because Claressa Shields, we know what she is. She's a very powerful brawler. Since London 2012, when she won that middleweight title in the women's division, she has shown that she has the kind of skills or excitement that the likes of Marvelous Marvin Hagler brought in men's boxing in the 80s. That would be a super fight for women's boxing. I'd love to see it.
All characters, all unpredictable. We can't let you go without talking about the main event. Whyte Chisora 2, it was fantastic in Manchester a couple of years ago. They both look better this time around. Chisora lighter, sleek, fit, knows he's just got to go for it. And as for Dillian Whyte, one of the most improved fighters, as you said, one of the stars of 2018, it should be an absolute belter.
Yeah, you're right. The victories for Dillian Whyte over hitherto unbeaten Lucas Brown earlier in the year. The brilliant performance against Joseph Parker, where he showed great ring nous at the end there when he was exhausted in the 12th round. 3 camps in Loughborough, you know, under strength and conditioning experts, mentally very different. Listen, I listened to your commentary just last night of that fight again. I mean, you could barely contain yourself in those last 3 or 4 rounds. It's the best British heavyweight ding-dong I think we've ever seen on these shores. I checked that, by the way, with Lord Hart of Harrow, Colin Hart, and he says he's been covering it for 50 years here, the sport. He's never seen a better heavyweight fight. I think it will be great this time round. I think, as you say, Derek Chisora, he's been on the hay diet, not quite vegan, but he's been complaining that he's not allowed fried chicken and all those things. He looks fantastic. He's found a six-pack again, but I do think that everything in this fight points to Dillian Whyte having the carrot of potentially Anthony Joshua at Wembley in April, of being one of the most improved boxers in the world. I think Dillian Whyte will be brilliant in it. I think it'll be the best performance of his career, and I think he'll get a stoppage of Derek Chisora between rounds 8 and 12.
Gareth Spencer, thank you very much for now. I've just got a couple of other familiar faces we're going to have a word with. Boys, thank you. Carl Froch, great to see you. Michael Buffer, welcome in. Come and join us, chaps. We are, of course, talking Whyte Chisora 2. It was wonderful, wasn't it, in Manchester a couple of years ago. Very close. We were asking a lot of the undercard fighters at the workouts yesterday who they thought won the first one. A lot went with Chisora and who they think wins the second one, and they were really split. That's what we want to see.
That is what I want to see, and that's how close it was. I mean, I scored it, I think, if memory serves me right, on the evening, I had it a draw going into the last, and I actually fancied Chisora in the last fight. I thought he landed more eye-catching punches, but it really was that close.
I think you had Chisora and David might have had Dillian. It was one of those, though.
It really was, and I think it's going to be similar. Whyte's improved a lot. Chisora, he's talking about being born again, and what that means is that his state of mind's going to be on point. So he's going to come and turn up believing in himself, and he knows he can walk through the shots of Whyte. I mean, you don't want to be walking through heavyweight shots, but he's confident that he can take the power and then get his off. We saw it against Carlos Takam. He was getting beat up for a few rounds, and then what did he do? He turned it around and pulled out an emphatic knockout. There could be an upset. I think you've got to make Whyte the favourite, but there could be an upset in Chisora here.
I tell you what, he looked in terrific shape yesterday, Derek Chisora, really lean, and he was smiling and happy and signing autographs. I don't think I've seen that with Derek.
Well, that's that peace of mind that we talked about earlier. We haven't seen it with him, and that's how confident he is, that's how easy he is and how at peace it is. I talked to Matthew Macklin, and he's sort of settled down himself. I don't want to go too much about Macklin, but he's sort of in a really good place mentally, and we're comparing him, my older brother, and Derek Chisora sort of in the same group. And when you've got that mindset, the power of the mind, it's an unbelievably strong thing, and I'm seeing that with Chisora, and I like what I'm seeing.
Michael, you've seen so many wonderful heavyweight fights through the years. The one a couple of years ago has got to rank right up there, and this one has got to be there too.
Yeah, I mean, their first fight, it was a grinder. I mean, you just felt everything that was going on from head to toe with those fighters. And on paper, like Carl said, you have to figure Dillian Whyte, you look at his record, I mean, it has to be the favorite. But when you look at the way Chisora is coming into this fight and the way he fought the last fight and the way he fought his last fight, with that knockout at the end, he was losing the fight. Boom, he comes up. He's fit and he's focused, and he is mentally in a whole different place. And when you weigh over 200 pounds and you're in that position, you can hurt somebody.
He is in a very different place. Last time there was all the needle, the glass throwing, the table hurling, everyone in trouble. But you know, they then fought 12 rounds, and I think they gained that respect for each other in there. They haven't behaved like that this time. It's business. And that, I think, could make it as good a game.
Yeah, we're picking this up with round 13. It's just, let's see what happens. I think it's going to be a great fight.
Carl, what do you think tactically Dillian will do this time? Do you think that he'll look at box and move? I mean, Derek, surely he's talking about war. And there's no other way really for Chisora, is there, than just to sort of get in there and make it rough and tough for Whyte from the opening bell?
Well, Chisora's made no mistake about what he's going to do. He's not tried to con the public and say, I'm going to do this and that. He said straight away, I'm coming out for war. I'm going to march forward. I'm going to get in his face, get on his chest, and make this a hard fight. I'm going to be there for 12 rounds. So he's obviously confident about his fitness. Dillian Whyte, I think, is going to have to try and box and move early on, just to try and get behind the jab, try and counter-punch him. I think he's more of a boxer and a mover than Chisora. It's fair to say that he's the boxer of the two. He's the guy that could get away with using his jab a bit more. But when Chisora's marching forward and getting on his chest, he's only got to clip him once or twice around the side of the head, and then Whyte's going to think, this boxing ain't going to work. I'm going to have to start... I'm standing where I am and meet fire with fire. And then
there is a bit of red mist to Dillian, isn't there, as well?
There is, yeah, exactly. And he's not going to sit back and box and think, hang on a minute, this is hurting me now, so I'm going to have to stand and fight. And when when that happens, hopefully the earlier that happens, the better it is for the fans. I mean, we've got a job to do, but let's not forget we're all boxing fans as well. I think this is going to be like you said, Michael. This could be round 13, picking up from where they left off.
Michael, we were in the Garden last week. Anthony Joshua got a huge reception. Jarell Miller was there. You've got the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury, fantastic fight. Maybe we'll see that again. But this is a big one for Dillian and Derek, because the winner of this surely is in the picture for 2019, big time.
The winner takes a step forward. We all know that. And it's a great risk for Dillian because he's already ranked up there in the top 2 or 3 in all of those alphabet belts and those commissions. And for Chisora, this is a true crosswords road fight for him. And we're on the verge of a great era in the heavyweight division. The top 8 guys are all really good fighters, with the top 3 being extremely exceptional.
If you could map out 2019, 2020 in your perfect world, with the likes of Wilder and Fury and AJ and Jarell and Alexander Usyk coming up, how would you do it? What would you really like to see next, and then next, and then next?
Okay, I'm going to speak just as a fan. Because of the actual belts, I would love to see AJ and Wilder and the winner fight the Gypsy King. And then we would have a true undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And that's what everybody wants to see.
Would you agree on that? I mean, obviously the AJ Wilder fight would be Joshua's preference. You'd have thought Wilder might want to go for it as well. Will he want to take the rematch with Fury after having the tough time last time? It's a big money one with AJ. Maybe they could do a double fight deal as well. Do you think that would be the best step? Certainly for world heavyweight boxing, but for both of them.
Yeah, I have to kind of agree there with Michael. You know, for AJ to fight Deontay Wilder, because he's got the green and gold belt, the WBC title, then that makes him the undisputed champion, AJ, if he wins that fight. And then the winner of that, whether it be AJ or Wilder, fights the Gypsy King Tyson Fury, because everyone believes that Fury won that fight, myself included. On the scorecard, you had to give it him. So everyone's going to want to see that. But let's not write off the rematch with Dillian Whyte, because if Whyte puts on a performance, you know, and looks fantastic on Saturday, then, you know, there's every chance that people are going to be calling for that fight against AJ, because AJ might have nowhere to go with the Fury and Deontay Wilder mix, because we don't know what's going to happen with them. They might be getting it on again in their very next fight, which puts AJ out in the cold for a little bit. And if Whyte performs, people are going to believe in that fight that can happen.
Yeah, the call for AJ Wilder, but do you think that sort of leaves Tyson Fury out? After all, as Carl said, you know, we all thought, well, certainly we did here, thought that Tyson Fury deserved that fight. I thought he was brilliant from start to finish, how he got up in the 12th round. You know, if they make AJ Wilder, you've got to feel a little bit for Fury, but I tell you, the big fight here, of course, is Joshua Fury, isn't it, at Wembley?
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't have enough seats in Wembley. They probably have to put in the extra 10 to make it 100,000 seat attendance.
We can definitely keep that one on ice, though, for now. That will build, that will give momentum. I don't know if Fury's going to fight Wilder again. That fight could go the same. I mean, Fury could get knocked out again. I said he'd get knocked out, and everyone's saying you got it wrong. No, he got knocked out, but he got up. He got up, and he saw the fight through.
Like Michael Myers in Halloween, he was dead, and he just pops up to the music.
It's incredible, isn't it?
It really was.
Brilliant.
It was
We've seen some brilliant ones, haven't we? You know, Buster Douglas getting up off Tyson. We've seen, you know, Manny Pacquiao and Marquez 3 times in the first round. You against George Groves in that first round. A lot of great sort of comebacks. Darren Barker when he went down to the body shot against Gil. But I think that one, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah. No, it was. It was the Undertaker at WWE. I mean, some of the emojis they've put out, and some of the clips of and the references to how he woke up. But he got up. He beat the count and he finished strong, and I thought he deserved to get the win. But the rematch could be exactly the same. But I think Fury performs a bit better in the rematch, keeps himself out of the way a bit more. He's got momentum now. He's been a bit busier. Because let's not forget, he had 2 fights with 2 nobodies really going into that fight, and look how he performed. Now he's gone 12 rounds with Deontay Wilder. In his head, he can do it again, but do it even better.
Who do you think will be the last man standing unified heavyweight champion in 2020?
No way I answer that, because the haters will come out like crazy on Twitter and Instagram. No way.
Adam Smith does that a lot. I'm not answering that either, but I'm going to be excited.
Isn't that the great thing? It's a sort of rock, paper, scissors situation, that any one of them could possibly beat any one of them on any given night. We saw that with Wilder and Fury. Fury outboxing Wilder almost with a knockout victory. With AJ and Wilder, one punch could change anything. A lot of people fancy Fury to beat Joshua, but then Joshua, very structured, hits so hard and has the experience as well of getting up off the Klitschko knockdown and getting through the Dillian Whyte fight, and in many ways has got a great resume with Parker and with Povetkin and with all. People are forgetting that. They're all saying, oh, you know, Fury and Wilder fought. They're forgetting who Joshua has fought.
Yeah, the great thing about the Gypsy King getting up from that, it was so typical of Tyson Fury. I mean, he's such a great entertainer. He's such a great personality. And to go down, and thank God the referee didn't, which he could have, and nobody would have complained, just wave it off instantly.
Very experienced looking referee, and what he did when he got over Tyson Fury, because a lot of people said this, the ref could have weighed it off, but the ref got down on his hands and knees. He could see in Tyson's eyes that it was open, and he was counting 4, 5, 6. Very, very good referee, and he gave him the chance. He got up, and then we got him to hear the final bell. And then we had that disputed, obviously, fight. But this is, you talk about them three, Fury and Wilder and AJ. I think on any given night, all of them could beat each other. And that's what's so exciting about it. There's no outright winner. I don't know if you agree with that, but I can't say AJ's the best out of the three or Tyson Fury can outbox all of them. Deontay Wilder lands any of them fighters on the chin, he can knock them out as well. So it's on the night.
And they're all different characters, aren't they? You've got AJ, the sort of nice guy that the housewives' favourite, the casual fans love. You've got Tyson Fury, who's a wonderful character, who's been through turmoil and trouble, and he's come up and risen. And you've got Deontay Wilder, who's just charisma on a stick.
Yeah, styles make fights. I mean, going back to Ali. Ali had trouble with Norton and Frazier. Ali beats George Foreman. George Foreman murders Frazier and Norton. So styles make fights, and we just don't know how
That's why you're not going to give me the answer.
No, that's real. I don't know. I might have a fan favorite, but I'm not going to tell anybody.
Tell us.
No way.
I tell you who will be here making a little bit of noise, and that's Big Baby, Jarell Miller. It was great to see him in New York. He joined our commentary on Saturday night last week. He's a fantastic sort of addition to the scene. And obviously, if Joshua wants to make an American debut in New York, that is an option.
Well, Big Baby Miller, yes. I mean, he talks very well and he believes in himself. He's there in his own right. You know, he's a challenger for any of these fighters. But I'm not sure he's got that charisma and he's got that crossover appeal yet, where people actually, that name doesn't spill off the tongue yet. I feel like we need to see a bit more of him.
He's got 320 pounds of heavyweight, and when he dances, nothing really jiggles. I mean, the guy is really put together, and he's undefeated.
He's quite quick as well. He's got quick hands. I'm not sure sort of what else is behind that and how he'd fare against Joshua, but it's a bit of an enigma.
Well, the main thing when you fight Anthony Joshua is you have to have the chin. And we don't know if he's been chin checked yet. So that's what's going to make it exciting if they meet each other.
He's also from Bedford-Stuyvesant, which brought out Riddick Bowe and Mike Tyson and so many others. And we had a funny moment last week when John McEnroe came on the screen. And I said, oh, do you like tennis, Jarell? Because AJ plays a bit. I know Carl does as well. He said, we don't play tennis in Brooklyn. We just try and survive.
That's right. They don't play tennis out there. It's all about...
Not in Bed-Stuy.
Well, that's why they're raised in a sport that, you know, it's ingrained in them. They're tough, right down to the core.
Let's talk Katie Taylor. Last week in the Garden, absolutely fantastic. Arguably her best performance so far against the undefeated Eva Wahlström. And the boys were saying earlier, Gareth and Spencer, about, you know, switches that go, and that Joshua Buatsy's like that, so quiet outside the ring. And when he gets in there, he's got that sort of evilness. And Katie, you can't meet a nicer girl outside, and then inside, I mean, she's incredible.
I always tell Brian Peters, her manager, there must be twins. He shows up, and walking into the locker room is this sweet, charming, lovely Katie Taylor. At the press conference, this lovely Katie Taylor, and the evil twin is waiting in the dressing room, and they put the gloves on the evil one, and she comes out to the ring, and she's just the Katie Taylor we see in the ring. And then right back to this girl that we love. We got to love her in and out of the ring.
She was amazing last week, wasn't she?
And I love her footwork. She's brilliant, head to toe brilliant.
Another fighter we talked about, Joshua Buatsy, we just mentioned there, also has had a great develop through 2018. In with Quinlan, who obviously took Eubank a fair few rounds, and Daniel Giel as well. So a decent test at this stage. Do you think Buatsy, or JB as they call him, could be the potential new star for the next couple of years?
Well, that's the key word, potential. He really has got massive potential, and at light heavyweight, is, you know, it's tough. It's tough out there. I mean, we saw Bivol in Monaco destroy the Australian, and What's the Australian we watched him destroy over in Monaco? Was it Johnson or someone? I mean, it was a great fight. He just first round,
wasn't it?
And he destroyed him. And they're the kind of guys that's waiting for Boazzi. But I believe that Boazzi's got it at 12 stone 7. 175 pounds. He really is a big, tough, strong, physically capable.
It's tough up there with Bivol and Batebiev and the likes of that. As well at domestic level, you've got Anthony Yarde, you've got Callum Johnson, of course. Frank Buglioni's gone now. Hosea Burton, maybe.
Kovalev is still relevant.
Kovalev, yeah, in that rematch.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great era for boxing. I mean, we talk about how great the heavyweight division can be. Light heavyweights stacked, middleweights stacked, welterweights stacked. It's a great era for boxing right now. It's a fans' party.
Before I let you go, what's been your favourite couple of moments maybe through this year, 2018? Is there anything you can pick out? I know Joshua's had a couple of big fights. You've had the Bellew-Hay saga end. What can you pick out here or in America?
Yeah, the Bellew-Hay rematch was exciting because we didn't know which way that was going to go with a healthy David Hay. There's just, for me, I'd have to sit down and go on my iPad and look at everything because there's so many contests. It's been a good year, and it's just going to get better.
Carl?
You know what? I love the Bellew-Hay saga, the whole saga of them two, the first fight and then the rematch. And everyone thought that Hay didn't take the first one seriously, which he probably did, but he wasn't as fit as he maybe could have been. So everyone believed, and they got onto this bandwagon that David Hay actually is so much better than Tony Bellew, so much more skilled and technically better. And I know he was past his best and he was injured, but Tony Bellew believed in himself, stuck with it, did what he did, and got the win. And I just think that generated such a big crowd-pleasing kind of audience, and it was a great fight on the evening. And poor David Hay finished his career on that one, but he can hold his head up high to say that
he's back now, isn't he? In the picture still with Derek.
Well, he's always been a good talker, and whether he's talked himself in position with Derek, but yeah, he's still here, and he's a good addition to boxing, whatever his addition is.
Tony Bellew, an amazing story, an amazing year, of course, and couldn't quite get through Alexander Usyk. Absolutely no disgrace there, Usyk, a real star. And that's a name for the heavyweight division.
Moving up to the heavyweight division, we saw what he can do. He seems to be a very intelligent fighter that knows how to wait for what he wants to do and be in control and then land that big shot. And he has the frame to move up and be relevant as physically, because we all think of these super-sized guys as heavyweights now. Usyk probably as a heavyweight will begin at 220, 225 pounds.
The other one that we saw out in Monaco recently was Michael Hunter, who no one sort of picked as a potential heavyweight, and suddenly he's rolled a couple over, and he's looking like he could play a part, and he's a character too, and Hasim Rahman.
He certainly is. I mean, yeah, he's got Rahman in his corner, and he's got these fast hands. He's not the biggest of heavyweights, but you can see he can punch, but he's got that movement and speed and self-belief. So, I mean, it's upsetting that he's not on this card. I was excited to see him on this card. He's not, but there's certainly going to be something in the future for Hunter.
There was talk of him fighting Carlos Takam. Takam is on the card at sort of late notice, which is another good addition. Obviously, he'll want to bounce back from the terrific fight he had with Derek Chisora, but obviously he came a cropper right at the end there. Takam still there, and I suppose Hunter against the likes of Takam, or maybe the smaller heavyweights, the Joe Parkers, would be great.
I personally think that Hunter should stay at cruiserweight. Just his physicality. I think that's his best division. But you can't blame a guy for moving up and taking on a few heavyweights and making that heavyweight money. But I used to introduce his dad 30 years ago, Mike the Bounty Hunter.
He could fight as well.
Yeah, he was an interesting fighter, good fighter.
It really is. It's a fascinating division, the heavyweights. What else are you looking forward to, Carl? Looking forward to 2019. This is the last one of the year, very late on, 3 days before Christmas. You know, we come back sort of late on in January, and then we're looking at, you know, big potential heavyweight fights, possibly Brooke Khan as well coming onto the radar. What are we thinking there?
Well, I'm thinking of one I was looking forward to, the exciting one. You just mentioned it there, the Brooke Khan one, and it'd be a shame if that fight never happened. And with Brooks' sort of lackluster performance in his last outing, I feel that Amir Khan now would probably start to fancy that. I don't think he should probably be fighting Terence Crawford. I think that's probably a bad move for Khan. I mean, he's going to get paid for it. Yeah. But that could be just career curtains for him. And I think with a Brook fight now, he's got a chance.
Yeah, I can't blame him or any fighter for wanting to get a big payday. And that's what the Crawford fight would do. I don't think it's in his best interest as far as his boxing health goes. The fight that the fans want to see, especially here in the UK, is Kell Brook and Amir Khan. There's no doubt about that. They could fill up the field in Sheffield, the football field,
Bramall Lane.
Yeah, in Bramall Lane. It'd be packed and it'd be a great night for all of us.
Just finally, we're not going to totally forget it. There is Warrington-Frampton this weekend as well. It's a great fight up in Manchester. What do you think?
Listen, I didn't think Warrington would do the business against Lee Selby. It's not that I didn't give him a chance. I just thought that Selby's skills would be too much. And when I saw Warrington, I just thought, you know what? He's a man possessed. He's loving life. So you can't write him off against Frampton. He's the underdog again, but that should be a good fight.
Michael Cole, thank you very much. We look forward to the fight in Manchester. But our attention, of course, will be on the O2. And I think Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora are ready to come face to face. Are the tables locked down? We hope so. Well, they're in a different mindset now. They're ready to fight.
Do you mind if we go to our seats now, yeah? Right. I've had a look at your city bag.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the final official press conference for what will be a great way for sports and boxing fans to end the year of 2018. This is the brawl to settle it all at the O2 Arena Saturday night, and it's all brought to you by Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, along with former world heavyweight champion David Hay for Haymaker Boxing, and sponsorship provided by William Hill, StubHub, and of course JD Sports. This is the kind of fight that fight fans love, for many reasons. First of all, the heavyweight division right now is on the threshold of a golden era. Perhaps we might even say it's already there. The top 8 fighters in this division all qualify for title fights. It's an amazing year coming up. So we have 2 heavyweights that are going to face each other and put it all on the line. It's going to be a great one. For a fan, personally, I'll speak for myself, it's between 2 guys that you don't want to see lose, 2 guys that I love to see in the ring, 2 guys that I love to associate with outside of the ring. They're fit, they're focused, the undercard is sensational. It's going to be a great night of boxing. So here to start us off and start to fill us in some more about this event Saturday night at the O2 is Mr. Adam Smith from Sky Sports Box Office.
Thank you, Michael. Here we go again. One of the great fights we've seen in recent years. 2 years ago in Manchester between Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora. It had to happen again. And a lot has changed in those 2 years as well. Both of them coming off terrific victories in the summer on a wonderful night at the O2. Dillian doing ever so well to beat Joseph Parker. Really good performance. And as for Derek Chisora, at the end, to come back after the onslaught he'd taken from Carlos Takam, to find the shots, to give him the golden ticket back into the higher echelons of the heavyweight division. It's a massive fight. 3 days before Christmas, a real pre-Christmas cracker, December the 22nd at the O2. And what a time for the 2 of them as well, with heavyweight boxing. Just the talk around the world. After Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury gave us that classic in LA, AJ will be working with us on Saturday night and waiting for his next move. Will it be against the winner of this? Will it be against Jarell Miller, who'll also be in, who's waiting for him in New York? Will it, of course, be the unification that we all want with Deontay Wilder? The prizes on offer after this are fantastic, but I think what's great about this is that the 12 rounds we saw in Manchester were just thrilling. And I can't see any other way that this is not just round 13 and off we go again. Fantastic undercard as we saw earlier. The whole thing live on Sky Sports Box Office Saturday night. Do not miss it. This is one fight that you have to see this year. Eddie.
Thank you, Adam. And of course, thank you always for your support. And thank you to Haymaker as well, David Hay, Nicole and the team. It's been a pleasure working with you guys. I think you've added another dimension to this fight. Publicly and behind closed doors as well. And I think there's a great narrative. We didn't necessarily need it because the first fight was one of the best heavyweight fights I think all of us have ever seen. And this is the fight that people are talking about out on the streets. Stopped yesterday numerous times. Oh, who's going to win? Whyte Chisora. That first fight was crazy. You know, has Hay made a difference? How much has Dillian Whyte got left in the tank? It's the unanswered questions of the first fight. Some people felt that Chisora won that fight. Some people felt that Dillian Whyte won that fight. But one thing we know, it was one of the best 12 rounds of action you would ever see. And I think on Saturday night, it's just repeat all over again. These guys are going to kick off where they left off. And there's something special about that O2 Arena. We was at Madison Square Garden last week. What a place. But the O2 Arena, like I said in the earlier press conference, is our Madison Square Garden. This is the place where we get the thrills. This is the place where we get the action. For Derek Chisora, what a career he's had. And I honestly feel like he may be the best he's ever been. Certainly a career best victory against Carlos Takam last time out. Another Fight of the Year contender. And now with Haymaker, with David Hay, I think he's going to be better than he's ever been in this fight before. Dillian Whyte, what more has he got to do? He's boxed everyone that's been put in front of him. And as I said to him the other day on the phone, it wasn't so long ago that Dillian Whyte was fighting for nothing, just opportunities to try and make his way in the sport. He's escalated through British Championship, through major pay-per-view events, and he's now a standalone pay-per-view fighter who every time he gets in the ring excites. The night against Parker was sensational. Of course, Chisora Takam and then Whyte against Parker. It was an unbelievable night, and we will get another unbelievable night on Saturday night. And the winner of this fight is so important to the global heavyweight scene. There is so much at stake, not just there, but also pride. I know none of these guys want to lose, and they will be doing everything they can to entertain us on Saturday and also become victorious.
Thanks very much, Eddie. Let's get to Don Charles, first of all, down the far end. Don, who's been with Derek a long time. He knows him so well. Slight changes in the camp, Don, this time, of course, teaming up with David Hay and his great stable, his great team, and what he can provide. How have the last 10, 12 weeks gone for you?
It's gone remarkably very well. Went to individuals get-together teams. It's a gamble, but I can honestly say to you that it's gone really, really well.
What's going to be different about Derek? He looks fit and sleek. He looks happy at the workouts yesterday. What are the changes? Are there anything that you've done since the Takam fight to prepare for Dillian's second time around?
I'm not going to got an awful lot to say, but I'm going to save it. Basically, tune in on Saturday night and you'll see it all will be revealed.
I'll tell you who will say more is the man next to me, David, obviously retired after the wars that you had and the fantastic career, now guiding Derek Chisora, a story in itself, and a really interesting one, because obviously the two of you have spent a lot of time together in the last few weeks. Do you think you've made that difference mentally to him?
I think Derek has always had in him what he needs to be one of the best heavyweights on the planet. He's had opportunities in the past, and I don't think he's capitalized as best as he could. And I think he's realized that now. Experience has told him we need to work hard. We need to make the sacrifices required, and that's what he's done. He's paid the price. He's all the things he used to do, he's no longer doing. And when he stands on the scales tomorrow, you'll be able to see. You'll see the difference. And I'm very, very confident. I knew he had the capabilities. I've been there with him. I felt his power. I felt his presence in the ring. I've seen it with my own eyes. The intensity and the ferocity that he's been sparring, for me, shows he's coming for war. He realized he was in a battle the first time round. He went to war first time. I don't think he had 12 rounds of war in him on that day. He has 12 rounds of war for Saturday. He realizes a performance like last time, 2 years ago, isn't good enough to beat the 2018 version of Dillian Whyte, who's immensely improved himself. So I'm very, very positive that the heat that's going to be brought to Dillian is going to put him so far in his uncomfort zone. Us fans are going to love it, but Dillian is going to be very, very uncomfortable. And I'm just happy that Derek's done what he's needed to do, because it's going to be so fun for the fans. If you thought the first fight was fun and intense and exciting, now imagine both fighters improving after 2 years. Both fighters trained harder than they've ever trained before. I can only speak for Derek, but I'm hearing the same things echoed from Dillian's team, that he's in career best shape, that he's been sparring great, and he's in fantastic shape. That just works out great for all of the fans who packed that amazing O2 arena, and everybody tuning into Sky Box Office will get their value for money, 100%.
David, you were sitting with us for the epic war itself between Derek and Carlos Takam, and I think you thought Carlos Takam would have too much for Derek.
Yeah,
what did you learn from Derek on that summer night that makes you believe that he can possibly fight for the world heavyweight title again next year, and that he has got enough left at this stage?
He proved me completely and utterly wrong. Prior to that fight, I'd tell anybody. I actually said to Derek himself before the fight, I said, I know Carlos Takam, I've sparred with him. You don't really want to fight this guy. He's all wrong for you. I considered him a better version of Derek. I thought he was stronger, he was fitter, he's just more intense.
And that's how it appeared in the first few rounds. But what you can't equate for, what you can't look up on someone's record is their heart and their determination and their toughness, their spirit, their will to win. And his will to win was so strong. He came through such, as you said, a horrendous onslaught to come back and to have that type of knockout power after you've taken so much punishment shows the type of toughness that you have. And I think that with the added fitness, with the added conditioning, the added strength, the added endurance, he's pushed his body to the absolute limit. And he's fresh, he's ready to go. We've had to rein him back the last few days. He wants to train. And apparently going by his team, and historically that's not been his top of the priorities. But this time it has been, and it's really nice to see that he wants to work, he wants to train, and he wants to be let off the leash on Saturday night to do some serious damage.
Team White, led by Mark Tibbs. You do a lot of work, and you've been doing a lot of work over the last few years to get Dillian into the position that he is now. First of all, you take this fight, and it's a risk. There's talk of the AJ fight possibly in April, and you go in with Derek again. Utterly confident, Mark, that you can do a better job than you did in Manchester?
Absolutely, Adam. Let me tell you something. Listen, 99.9% a good boxer will beat a brawler. Right. He's not only just a boxer, he's a box fighter. Yeah? As long as we get it right on the night, which we will do, we will box and fight our way to a very good victory. It ain't going to be easy, but we will meet him and greet him, but beat him to the punch. Yes. Right? And that's how it is. It ain't going to be easy, but he looks in good shape. They both look in good shape, but this man has had a wonderful training camp. You know I'm going to say that anyway, but the boys at the Loughborough University have done their job. We've all done our own work. Everyone's done our own work to make Dillian Whyte better than he is. And the percentage I was looking for will be evident on Saturday night.
Some people saying he's one of the great fighters of 2018 because of the wins over Lucas Brown and Joseph Parker. How is he improving fight by fight for you as he aims for the world heavyweight title?
Well, it's all about Dillian's maturity. You know, his ring craft. He's got ring craft, but in the past, I've said it before, he's always been ruled by his head. But he weighs up things. He's got to be we've got to stamp authority consistently and persistently, and we will do. And his maturity as a fighter, as an individual, is going to take him to the next level. This man, I've never felt before. I said it last time when he fought Parker. He's ready for them all, but we ain't overlooking Derek Chisora.
Thanks, Martin. I'm not overlooking you, Derek, and they shouldn't overlook you. You seemed very happy, very content yesterday at the workout, signing autographs and leaner than ever. You seem in a brilliant place. Is this the best place you've been in a long, long time?
Oh, yeah. I'm in a great place right now. If you remember, I think last year in November, after we left the Monte Carlo casino, some of you guys probably say that it's done now. There's no way coming back from this. You know, when I done the interview, I said, you know what, it's time I go rebuild and come back. God is great. Born again, gave my life to the Lord, forgave those who sinned on me and who were done wrong on me and stuff like that. So by doing that, I became a better person, and by that, I contacted my very good friend here, David, which put me through the lots of paces in training by showing me the whole program. He didn't train me, but he was telling me this is what we need to do to get what we want to get. And it's gone well. training-wise, you know, lifestyle-wise. Now just ready to go to war, have a great fight.
No build-up like the last time, no glasses, tables, none of that. It's calm, it's business, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently I believe Mike Goodall screwed his tables already. They screwed down anyway, so you can't really move them anyway, but it's okay. Listen, I think the last build-up, I made Eddie loads of money, so I don't think I'm going to do that anymore for Eddie. Yeah, right. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I'll do something when I want to do something. For now, you know what? I'm just happy that, you know, training's gone well. You know, everybody's fine in my camp. We're just ready to fight.
You're predicting war. Is it a case of round 13? It's more of the same, or is there something different that you're going to bring Dillian on Saturday night?
No, I'm going to bring the same game I bring every day, man. We're going to go to fight. You know, his coach just said, yeah, he's going to try to box. He'll be a fighter, he'll be a boxer, and da. But really and truly, he's not in the ring, so Dillian's going to have to be there, fight. You know, he's going to try and run. You know, he's going to come meet me in the middle, which is great for me. So whatever game plan they have, our game plan is just bite the gum shield and seek and destroy.
Do you realize how good a fight it was 2 years ago? I mean, a real thriller. Whichever way you thought it went or Dillian thought it went, it was one of the best we've had on our shores for many, many years. It should be again, shouldn't it?
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you as I sit here. It's like, you know, come round 6 when we're pounding, come back to round 7, and then you look on the corner and you're like, God damn, he's still going on. And then suddenly, round 8, round 9, and you're like, oh, Jesus. And you just have to bite the gauntlet and go. And it was a great fight. You know, fans, I think the boxing fans loved it. Everybody loved it. My brain cells didn't love it, you know, but I enjoyed it. So I don't know about Dillian, but I think Dillian enjoyed it. It was a great fight.
If he's improved a lot in the last couple of years, what about you and the place you're in with Don and David and fitness-wise? Do you think maybe round 8, round 9, you won't have that same feeling? You'll be stronger than ever?
No, we're gonna God honest truth, man. We're gonna drown Dillian from the get-go. We know he's fit, but we want to see how fit is he. We're gonna go boom from the gates.
Dillian, you ready for the charge, for the war that Derek Chisora is going to bring this time around? You had 12 rounds with him 2 years ago. What's going to be different?
Listen, you keep going about he's going to pound me. Everything's going to be pounding is his meat. That's all he's going to be pounding. He ain't going to be pounding me, my friend. Trust me. You know, listen, there's levels to this thing, and I keep leveling up every fight, every camp. I keep improving. Listen, Derek will see how strong I am. Come Saturday, you'll see how strong I am. You see how strong I am.
Mark's talking about you as the box fighter. Derek says you're going to run. What sort of tactics are you going to implement this time to make sure that you do get that world heavyweight title shot early next year? This
is boxing. I'm used to people saying they're coming to do this and coming to do that to try and get into my head and hopefully I'll go in there and do something else. I'm used to it. I've been around long enough now. I've seen things, and you know, there's fighters that say I'm going to come and bang you in the first round. I'm going to do this, and then they come and do something else. So I don't think even Derek himself knows what he's doing and where he's going. So let's see let's see what he comes with in the night and what happened in the night.
Do you think that you have matured mentally, physically, professionally over those last couple of years? You've chosen the right opponents at the right time that stand you in much better stead going into this one.
I haven't chosen the right opponent. Eddie just says, you're fighting this guy or it's that guy. And I said, all right, whichever one you can get, I'll take. You know, I would have chosen much better opponents if I was able to choose. So, but I've had good fights. I've had good learning fights. I just see time and time again, guys have undefeated records, and then they fight nobody. Just for example, Wilder, like Fury the other day, fought one decent fighter, and he got exposed. You know, so I'm having all the right fights, fighting all the right people. I'm still learning. There's still a lot more to learn, still a lot more to improve, and a lot more to come. So I'll fight anyone, man. Whoever they bring, whatever they, you know, I enjoy fighting different people, solving different puzzles, and just getting on with whatever's in front of me, man.
A lot of talk about Derek and what he's done for this camp, but you've been back up in Loughborough, and it's something that's really working for you, isn't it, up there?
Yeah, it's listen, good luck to them and what they've done, man. You know, I haven't really been screaming and shouting about what I've been doing, and you know, I'm not born again Christian and all this nonsense, but you know, there's
you
two
know what the
men in
funniest
there
thing
fighting.
is? At least I ain't doing no black magic. You know, I don't come up with a voodoo talk. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you might want to say whatever you want to say, but don't come with a black magic talk. You know, giving me the curses and the voodoo talk.
What are you worrying about? I
don't
said
care,
hello to you in
man.
the native language, but you don't know your
Let me see,
native tongue, bro.
Are you wearing your anal beads again today?
No, I left them in the house last night.
Are you wearing your anal beads again?
Don't worry,
But-
Saturday I'll bring them for you and
Don't
David.
worry.
You and David can share them from both ends.
Dillian. It was all going so well, Dillian, wasn't it?
It's him that brought it up,
No,
not
no,
me.
I know.
Once again, I get the blame for something he done.
No one's getting any blame. What's going to happen Saturday night? What do you need to show the world?
Listen, you know me, I do whatever it takes to get the win, man. That's it, you know, I just do whatever it takes to get the win. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and... I've been involved in fights, I've been shouting and screaming and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I just conserve my energy, man. I'm relaxed. You guys, listen, you guys know what I bring. You guys know I can fight. You guys know I can box. You guys know I can hit. You guys know I have power. You know, so I just go and do my thing. I don't need to sit here and scream about, I'm going to do this. I mean, the fight don't need no selling, no building, you know. But there's going to be blood. There will be blood Saturday night.
But there was hate last time. There might not be like this time, but there's respect, isn't there?
I respect everyone, you know. Listen, it's not an easy job getting in the ring, man. It's hard, you know. I respect everyone, from the journeyman of the sport to the real champion of the sport. You know, I mean, you know, it's what it is, man.
Derek, likewise. Respect for Dillian this time?
Hey, listen, I keep saying it, man. Enough respect for Dillian, you know, for everything he's achieved, you know, from boxing in your core, boxing on some other shows with no promoters and stuff like that, and then Sani teaming up with Eddie. That's enough respect. You can't take that away from a man when he's achieved so much, you know. So I got respect for him.
How much do you want this, Derek? How much do you need it Saturday night?
You know what? When I was coming here, I was like, you know, Eddie's dangling that carrot again, you know, in front of me and Dylan, and that carrot is AJ, you know.
You're in carrots, man.
Yeah.
You're obsessed with carrots, bro.
You know, I was like, Eddie's good dangling like that carrot, you know, about, you know, there's two fighters there, and there's a carrot there, you know, like AJ fighting Wembley,
like 10
you know,
times.
you know, but it's okay, man, you know. But, you know, I'm just gassed, man. The fight's here. I've been asking for this rematch for a while, and it's happening now.
Prediction, what happens?
Man, listen, I don't want the fight to go on points. 100%, I don't want the fight to go on points, because if it was to go on points, I know Eddie's going to pay the charges and stuff like that, so I can't afford that.
You will knock him out?
I'm going to knock the sucker out. 100%. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to pound him. I'm going to hit him, pound him, hit him, pound him. Whatever he wants, I'm going to give it to him.
Dillian? And for you, by knockout?
Come Saturday night, you guys will see, man. Don't worry, let Derek do all the talking and all this other stuff, man. Saturday night, you guys will see. Listen, he's this different animal standing in front of him Saturday night. Not a 27-year-old immature boy who only been scheduled for 12 once, you know, inexperienced. I'm experienced. I've been involved in 12-round battles. Listen, you guys will see. You guys will see. See, it's a different man he's fighting, a complete different man, a complete different man. My base is stronger. Listen, you guys will see. You'll see.
Time has changed and you're ready. Let's bring Eddie in finally. For the winner, obviously, huge opportunities ahead.
Okay.
2019, how do you think it's going to unfold?
We talk about the carrots and the dangling, but to be honest with you, this is a fight within itself. And there are people coming on Saturday night who are coming as fans. Anthony Joshua is one of them. People want to see this fight. People don't know what's going to happen in this fight. People think these two are crazy, and they are crazy. Because if you watch that first fight, why on earth would you want to do this again?
So if it's another classic, there could be a trilogy.
Who knows? I mean, that might not be good for people. But all I know is this fight is a crazy fight to take for both guys because of what happened in the first fight. For Dillian, like Derek says to him and goes to him, why do you take this? You're there. You're number one with the WBC. You're top 5 of everybody. Why risk it against me?
I know why.
Why?
Because you're not fighting his corner for him to fight for the WBC. That's why you're selling him short.
Really? What?
Yeah.
What, against you?
Man, the guy was a WBC champion for like silver for about 1.5 years, and you haven't fought his corner rightly, so it says a lot, man.
Well, maybe he thinks this is the right fight. Maybe he thinks this is an easy touch for the money.
Come on, man. You know, fight for your boy, man. Come on, boy. Right now, you're not fighting his corner. Let's be honest.
I'm fighting his corner. I just think this is.
You're not fighting his corner, man. You're not fighting his corner.
You should throw a table at him like he did last time.
I wasn't bothered by that table. I was quite cool under the circumstances. But what I was saying is, this is a risky fight for Dillian Whyte because he is in that position. And it's a risky fight for both. And I take my hat off to both.
No, it's not a risky fight for me.
No?
I'm talking about, I didn't have anywhere to go, did I? No, it's not. It's
Physically,
not a risky fight.
physically a risky fight.
Fuck that shit, man. Listen, fuck that. Physically what? It don't matter, man. I'm going to come out there nice. Do you understand? It's, we're going to go and take what's his and make it mine. You know, that is it. It's not a risky fight for me. I am ready. That's it.
One thing I was saying earlier to the media is that in certain environments, you become a very, very difficult man to beat. And I think when you went to Monaco, in that little room, it wasn't like when you go into Manchester and you go to the O2, that's what you're about. And Monaco just weren't for you.
Oh man, listen, I like to have fights, man. And when the crowd in Monaco is like, you're busy sweating there, and then suddenly you got somebody drinking a margarita there, looking at you like it's a gladiator. It's like it's a slave days. Like, look at this black guy fighting a white guy. It's like gone back to the slave days, and then it's like it was like that in Monaco. So it's like you're like, oh, you look outside the ring, everybody's like on the Blackberries, on the phones, and you're like, for fuck's sake, can you just watch one round? Sorry, Adam, for swearing. I apologize.
We're not
I apologize.
What a great Christian he is, eh?
I'm so sorry.
We dropped off live when he talked about the anal bead.
What a great bun again Chisora is.
I apologize. Yeah, but Monaco is a great city, but I don't think it's a great place for boxing because you don't have true diehard fans in Monaco. It's
a different atmosphere.
It's it's totally hard. It's like. It's just
what do you think
crazy.
the crowd's going to be like on Saturday? Interesting. 2 Londoners.
Oh, Derek Chisora. Oh, Derek Chisora. That's going to be the anthem for the fight. It's going to be great on Saturday night. I'm just buzzing. You don't understand. It's like, when the guy comes in and goes, oh, you got 10 minutes, and then suddenly you're like, oh, Jesus, 10 minutes. I was saying this to David over there. I was like, oh, 10 minutes. And then they start singing, what's the last song they sing? What's the name of it?
Sweet Caroline.
So, yeah, and the song goes, da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. And then, after this song, boy, and then you get Michael Buffer goes, ladies and gentlemen, da-da-da. And you're like, God damn, what am I doing here? I wish I could go home right now. You're like, oh, okay, it's on. And then suddenly when you come out your dressing room, that's it. It's fight time. But you know what? You can't buy the adrenaline anywhere in the shops or anywhere of what we go through as boxers. I'm sorry. Lacing up those gloves, going through that. It's just a buzz. It's amazing. I love it.
Respect to both. David, closing words. Will you get that same buzz? You've had the blessing of achieving that.
I know exactly what he's talking about, and I'm sure I'll get a similar type of buzz on Saturday night, knowing the ferocity that Derek's trained at, and knowing what his team have said happened in the first fight compared to this fight. It's a completely different human being. He's so much fitter for everything. All bases have been covered, and it's just going to be fun. Being by his side, going out there to war. I'm going to be very nervous. I had that for whenever for friends or family fight. I get so much more nervous for them than I do myself because I'm out of control. I can't do anything. I just got to sit back and just allow what's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, Derek, probably for the first time, in my opinion, maybe you disagree, is going to walk out with a different type of confidence. Not that he's going to go to war or he's going to put it online, but he's 100% ready to fight for 12 rounds at a hellacious pace. I know he can do it. He knows he can do it. He doesn't have to sit on the ropes taking punishment to get a breather. He can just keep pushing that pace. And that was if he had 2 or 3 more rounds of quality fight in him the first time round, he would have got the nod. This time round, he's going to go, and I'm sure Dillian's got a great plan. He's got a good coach, good team, good staff. He's gonna bring his A game. It just means the fans are gonna get their money's worth, and that's all we want. We want to make sure this is an entertainment business, and these guys are guaranteed to entertain. So Sky Box Office is gonna blow up.
Thanks, David, Adam. Thanks for all coming out today, and massive respect for these two, because these are the ones that are going to be entertaining the nation come Saturday night. Wish them the best of luck, and everybody on the undercard as well. We're going to have a head-to-head up here now, then both guys available for one-on-ones. We'll see you at the Weigh-In Business Design Centre, Islington, 1 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, stand by, Derek.
Well, the great news here is that all the tables are where they started, which is fantastic. Derek Chisora is with me. Unfortunately, you've had to take the Christmas jumper off, but to just show us, because it was a nice little touch, that.
First of all, I just want to say to the world, it's not my fault I took it off. It's Nicole's fault. That's why I took this off, because she's like, "Don't wear a Christmas jumper."
Look at this. Look, this is Gucci as well. It's very nice.
That's Gucci. No.
Excellent. You had a little bit of fun up there today, which is nice to see, because we're used to, obviously, previous years, things being a little bit different, but you seem to be in a really good place right now.
You know, I'm in a great place, like a couple of years ago when we sat in the fight, I was a troubled man, I was upset with myself, so many things, but now I'm better, I'm excited, the fight's only like 2 days away now, man, I can only be chuffed, man.
And in terms of your preparation, you seem to have been very, very happy with that. The David Hay connection seems to be helping you out in many ways.
Oh yeah, he did, man. David wrote a massive program for me. At one point on every end of the week, I had done 16 sessions or 17 sessions. From 6 o'clock to the time I go to sleep. So it's gone well.
So you feel like you are in prime condition for a great, great fight here on Saturday night.
Yes, I'm in prime condition. I'm excited. I hope Dillian's in prime condition as well, so we can give the fans what they want.
The two of you just had the face-off. There were a few words exchanged. Bearing in mind it's a family show, can you give us a flavour of what was being said?
You know what they say in the Premier League, man. When they got about 4 games left end of the season, I just say squeaky bum time. That was it.
Is that how it's feeling for you? Are you feeling relaxed? Are you feeling confident? You were talking a lot about the thrill, the excitement that you get from being in the arena and fighting.
Yes, the thrill is amazing. The nerves are kicking in as well, so which is great. So I'm just buzzing right now. I'm buzzing.
And in terms of the fight itself, do you think it's just going to be a continuation of that first fight, which was an absolute barnstormer? We're hoping we're going to get something very similar.
Ding dong will be round 13. Do not miss it.
Right from the start, right from the word go?
Get go.
And an interesting phrase you used, you said you were going to drown him in punches as far as this fight is concerned. So you're clearly coming straight out to prove a point and not get the judges involved at all.
I'm coming power punch, power punch, power punch.
We look forward to it. Derek, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Derek Chisora is with us here, and he's looking forward to Saturday night, the brawl to end it all at the O2 Arena. It was a pretty lively press conference. It was both fighters having plenty to say to each other. The good news, no tables were thrown. Dillian Whyte is with me. It was interesting, wasn't it? The two of you had a fair bit to say, but it was all quietly nicely reserved, I think.
Yeah. You know, I'm cool, man. I don't go into cause any problem. I'm just relaxed, you know, but sometimes things get eaten and people say stuff and you respond.
And he's not getting under your skin at all?
No, my skin's pretty tight at the minute, so it's hard to get under it.
We can see that because you look like you're in fantastic shape. We're really looking forward to seeing what you guys are looking like on the scales.
I'm trying, man. You know, I'm not too focused on looking good. I'm focused on being good. You know, a lot of times, a lot of fighters focus on stripping out, getting slim, trying to look a certain way, but it's not always the best thing.
Things have changed a lot, obviously, since the last fight. But when you look back on that first performance, do you think maybe you could have done a lot better on that particular night? Do you think you'll do a lot better as a result this year?
I was a young pro, the new pro. You know, I'm more experienced now. I'm better now. I'm moving a lot better. I'm more mature physically as well as mentally. So yeah, much better all around now. Much better.
But obviously he's got the David Hay factor in there now. Do you think that's going to make much of a difference for him?
I mean nothing. David Hay can't fight for him. All floppy foot's finish. You know.
And not in terms of the professionalism or the preparation that he might have brought in?
Become more professional, etc. But I don't mean nothing, man. You know, I train hard. I've made proper professional changes to my career.
You don't think he's changed at all since that last 2 years ago?
Yeah, of course he has. You know, he says all of this stuff, but this is boxing, man. People say a lot of things, you know. Let's see what happens. I'm expecting a hard fight. I'm expecting to be strong, to be fit, but everyone a fight show up like that anyway. Everyone a fight showed the best they've ever showed up. You know, look at even Parker. You know, it's a man that was in his show when he fought AJ, fought me, showed up and he rolled the dice in the last round.
He's saying he's going to start straight away, come straight at you right from the first go. Are you happy with that? Is that music to your ears?
That might work in my favour. Let him come and pound whatever he wants to pound, and we'll see, man.
And the judges are not going to get involved in this one?
That's a nonsense. You know what I hate? People, in his mind, he knows he's going to lose. So he's trying to already put subliminal messages out to the people that, if he goes points and I lose it because Eddie's brought a judge. Eddie, listen. Eddie's a professional. Why is he going to buy judges for? Well, he's just stupid. He just causes problem and controversy for no reason because he's not very intelligent. He doesn't think of what he says and what he does, so he just randomly throws his energy out there and says some rubbish. You know, like you say, he's a born-again Christian and he swore how much time here. He just talks nonsense the whole time.
Do you think there's every chance then that we're going to see this fight being a knockout victory?
Yeah, I'm going to fix him this time. Last time I was close, but this time we'll get it. You know, like I said, experience is the thing that you can't buy, and I've gained it. You know, we've had the fights, we've done the things, I've gained the experience now.
And obviously there is a huge amount at stake, not only in terms of personal pride, but what could be coming up next for one of you.
I ain't bothered about no carrot. I'm just bothered about this, what's going on right here. He's the carrot muncher, and he's excited about carrots, not me. I take it one foot at a time, one step at a time, that's it. You know, that's all my career is, because I can't afford no losses in my career. You know, it's all about wins, man. You know.
Dillian, we wish you the very best of luck. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Dillian Whyte, of course, taking on Derek Chisora on Saturday night. His promoter, Eddie Hearn, is joining me now as well. Eddie, it's good to see that all the tables managed to stay in the same place, which was nice. But interesting, wasn't it? There were a few comedy moments, but all the way along, these guys are deadly serious.
Well, I'm glad you didn't take it live at Sky Sports News, because we would have had a few complaints. But if you get the chance, watch it back. It was very funny, a little bit X-rated at times. I think there's a little bit of a different vibe between these two now. They've shared a ring. They've shared 12 rounds in probably one of the best heavyweight fights we've ever seen live. So they know they're going to go through it again. Chisora looks unbelievable. I mean, I was just watching him 3 or 4 yards away. He is the leanest he's ever been, and he will go for 12 rounds at a pace that he's probably never gone before. In fact, I couldn't imagine a worse place to be on Saturday night than in the ring with this Derek Chisora, because he's going to be a nightmare. But Dillian has improved. He is punching harder. Technically, he's better. But can he outbox him and outthink him, or will he? I just heard your interview with him there. It's not about pride. It's everything about pride. Of course it is. These are two guys that don't like each other. These are two guys that want to make sure they win on Saturday night. It's going to be about pride. It's going to be about heart. It's going to be about skill as well. But it's more going to be about will. And these two are going to put on a show for us Saturday night at the O2. I think they're absolutely crazy for doing it again. If you watch the first fight, Why would you want to go and do this again? Because they love to fight, they love to entertain, and because they don't particularly like each other. So we're the blessed ones, the people that get a chance to watch this all over again.
We're obviously looking forward as well to what whoever wins this fight might end up doing next year. And overnight, as I'm sure you're probably aware, the rumour mill has gone into overdrive about maybe Anthony Joshua going to America to fight Jarell Miller, about Amir Khan and Kell Brook. I mean, there's so much excitement going on. What can you tell us?
Well, the great thing about boxing right now, it's become so big that it's become its own little soap opera. You know, I've never seen so many rumours swirling around the internet. He's going there, he's going to fight him. The truth is nothing is decided, and nothing should surprise you. We could fight Wilder, we could fight Fury, we could fight Jarell Miller, we could fight the winner of Saturday night, we could fight Usyk. There are so many different options out there, but right now, the heavyweight world is kind of sitting still, waiting for Saturday night. This isn't just about dangling carrots for Anthony Joshua, this is the fight within itself. This was the best heavyweight fight 2 years ago, and I believe this will be the best heavyweight fight of the year. But Anthony Joshua is coming on Saturday night, not to look at a potential opponent, but to come as a fan, because he wants to watch this all over again. He's excited, he's talking about it. The people on the street are talking about it, people stopping him. Who's going to win, Whyte, Chisora? Whyte has everything to lose, and Chisora has nothing to lose. I'm really interested in that head-to-head. Just as they turned, Chisora said to Whyte, squeaky bum time. And what he means is, it's all on you, mate. You messed this up. All the talk of Wembley, all the talk of world title shots are over. And I think he's trying to put that extra pressure on Dillian Whyte, and the pressure is on Dillian Whyte. Chisora's going to go out there, do what he always does. He's going to go to war on Saturday night, and Dillian Whyte will have no choice but to stand with him and do the same.
We can't wait. Eddie, thanks very much for joining us. So many questions will be